Hey everyone, and welcome back to TechChi, the place where we decode the future of technology without all the hype. In today's episode, we're diving deep into a conversation that's shaping the future of transportation, electric cars versus autonomous cars, and what's coming next. While both technologies are revolutionary in their own right, they're often misunderstood, conflated, or even seen as competitors. But the truth is far more complex and far more exciting. By the end of this video, you'll understand not only the differences between these two forces, but how they might merge, where they're struggling, and what the next decade of mobility will look like. Grab a coffee, this is a detailed one. Electric vehicles are no longer futuristic ideas or niche experiments. They've transitioned into mainstream consumer products and are rapidly becoming a central part of the automotive industry's future. What makes them so significant is how they fundamentally redefine what a car is. Not just in how it moves, but in how it interacts with energy, infrastructure, and even society. The shift toward electric mobility is driven by more than just environmental awareness. It's a combination of economic shifts, regulatory pressures, and technological maturity. Batteries, once considered the bottleneck, are becoming cheaper, more efficient, and more durable. EV platforms allow for greater design flexibility, more interior space, and simpler maintenance. You don't have oil changes, exhaust systems, or gearboxes in the same way. The architecture is digitally native, built to work with software updates, over-the-air fixes, and even remote diagnostics. This digital backbone also enables a different kind of user experience. Instead of a traditional dashboard, you get a touch-based interface that resembles a smartphone. You get personalized driving profiles, integrated energy management, and real-time navigation based on charging availability. Some cars even sync with your smart home systems to optimize charging based on your energy usage. But what truly cements the future of EVs is infrastructure. Fast charging networks are expanding aggressively, often supported by governments and energy companies. Smart charging, wireless charging, and even bidirectional charging, where your car powers your house, are becoming reality. And when you combine this with renewable energy sources, EVs don't just reduce emissions. They become active players in the energy ecosystem. Unlike electric cars, which are fundamentally a hardware evolution, autonomous vehicles represent a software revolution. The core challenge isn't moving a vehicle without gas, it's enabling a machine to understand and respond to the world with the complexity and nuance of a human driver. Autonomous vehicles rely on an entire ecosystem of sensors and systems, high-resolution cameras, radar, LiDAR, and advanced GPS modules, all feeding real-time data to onboard AI models. These models must recognize everything from pedestrians and traffic lights to unpredictable road behavior, a child running into the street, a construction detour, or a car suddenly braking. This level of decision-making requires not only real-time processing but learning from billions of scenarios. Companies use massive simulation environments and real-world test data to train models. Some, like Tesla, use data from millions of cars already on the road. Others, like Waymo or Cruise, test fleets in geo-fenced cities to limit complexity. Despite the hype, autonomy is still far from being fully solved. The real world is messy. Conditions change, people behave irrationally, and roads are often poorly marked. Edge cases, rare or unexpected events, are still major challenges. And unlike other tech fields, there's no tolerance for failure. A software bug in your car isn't just annoying, it can be fatal. On top of the technical issues, there's legal, ethical, and regulatory uncertainty. Most countries still require a human to be legally responsible for the car's actions. That slows down deployment and forces AV companies to prove reliability under intense scrutiny. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and we're still in the middle of the race. As promising as both electric and autonomous cars are, neither path is smooth. Both face deep-rooted challenges that go beyond engineering, touching on infrastructure, politics, economy, and society. For electric vehicles, the biggest issue is the battery supply chain. Producing batteries at scale requires materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, and extracting these resources is not always clean or ethical. The energy cost of mining and refining adds a layer of complexity to EVs' environmental claims. And while EVs emit less over their lifetime, the production footprint can be significant unless the energy used is from renewable sources. Then there's the question of charging accessibility. Urban centers might be filled with fast chargers, but rural or underdeveloped regions are left behind. This creates a two-tier transportation system unless governments step in to build equitable infrastructure. Also, power grids are not yet ready for millions of EVs charging simultaneously, especially during peak hours. Smart grid management is necessary, but implementation is slow. On the autonomy side, one of the hardest challenges is trust. People are still deeply uncomfortable giving up control to an algorithm, especially in life and death scenarios. Accidents involving AVs, even when rare, dominate headlines and damage public confidence. Transparency in how decisions are made and clear accountability is essential for wider acceptance. And of course, there's the economic impact. Autonomous delivery vans and trucks may be efficient, but they threaten millions of driving jobs. Transitioning those workers requires large-scale retraining programs, which are rarely prioritized. If not addressed, automation could widen inequality rather than solve it. Now here's the key question: are electric and autonomous cars on separate tracks, or are they merging into a single future? From a technological standpoint, convergence makes sense. Electric vehicles are mechanically simpler, which makes them easier to automate. Their digital architecture aligns naturally with the complex software required for autonomy. And from a systems integration perspective, having both capabilities in one platform allows for better control, coordination, and efficiency. That's why most autonomous prototypes today are electric. Not because they have to be, but because the synergy is strong. An electric self-driving car is quieter, smoother, and easier to maintain. For companies operating robotaxi fleets, those qualities reduce cost and improve the user experience. In the long run, they make the business model more scalable. But convergence isn't guaranteed. Some long-haul autonomous trucks still rely on diesel due to energy density and range. In markets with limited EV infrastructure, autonomy might arrive first in hybrid or combustion platforms. The technology stacks are aligned, but the timing and economics vary region by region. Still, most signs point toward integration. When you think about the future of mobility, cars that drive themselves, charge themselves, and update themselves, the path forward becomes clear. The car of tomorrow is both electric and autonomous. It's a rolling computer with wheels. Anytime we talk about transformative technology, we have to look at the broader impact, not just what it does, but what it changes in society. Electric vehicles promise a cleaner future, but only if their entire life cycle is sustainable. That means sourcing materials responsibly, using renewable energy for charging, and developing robust recycling systems for old batteries. Without those pillars, EVs may simply shift pollution from tailpipes to mines and power plants. Autonomous cars, on the other hand, present a paradox. They could dramatically reduce traffic deaths, most of which are caused by human error, but they also create new ethical and legal dilemmas. Should an algorithm prioritize the passenger or the pedestrian? Who's liable when an AV crashes, the manufacturer, the software engineer, or the owner? There are also broader urban implications. If everyone owns a self-driving car, cities could become more congested, not less. But if AVs are shared and integrated with public transport, they could free up space, reduce emissions, and even redesign how cities are structured. The outcome depends on policy choices, not just technical capabilities. Left to the market alone, these technologies could deepen inequality and erode privacy. But with thoughtful regulation, they could deliver safer, greener, and more inclusive mobility for all. So what does the next decade look like? We're likely to see electric vehicles become the default for new cars in many countries. Prices will continue to fall, making them accessible to middle and lower-income buyers. Fast charging networks will become ubiquitous, and energy storage will become part of the vehicle's core function. Autonomous features will spread gradually. At first, limited to highway driving or ride-hailing in specific cities. But as trust grows and software improves, autonomy will expand into personal vehicles, logistics, and even public transport. Ownership models will also shift. More people will subscribe to mobility services rather than own a car. Vehicles will be designed around sharing, optimized for comfort, safety, and connectivity. Cities will adapt by creating dedicated lanes, smart intersections, and infrastructure that communicates directly with cars. Data, real-time, continuous, and secure, will become the most valuable fuel in this ecosystem. The future isn't electric or autonomous. It's both, and it's already in motion. At the end of the day, we're not just witnessing the evolution of cars, we're witnessing a transformation in how we move, how we live, and how we connect with the world around us. Electric and autonomous cars aren't two opposing futures, they're two sides of the same coin. One redefines how we power mobility, the other redefines how we control it. Together, they form a vision of a smarter, safer, and more sustainable transportation system. But here's the key: technology alone isn't enough. The choices we make as individuals, as governments, as industries will shape whether these innovations serve everyone or only a few. The future is being built right now, not in some distant lab, but in every policy, every investment, and every conversation like this one. So if you found this video insightful, do me a favor. Like the video to support the channel, subscribe to stay updated with future deep dives like this, and drop a comment below. What do you think is next for cars? Will you trust an autonomous vehicle in the next 5 years? This has been TechChi. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.